Good evening, everyone. Hi, how are you doing? This is Sharon, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. And I wanted to introduce you to my Lucy by Tina Kiwi. She was reborn by me several years ago, and she's wearing a Laura Ashley sleeper that I just picked up for her today. It's a beautiful sleeper, and she's looking nice and cozy and peaceful, all blanketed up with that pretty pink blanket. And I am in my guest room. And for all of you new reborn owners, I made this video specifically for you. And I've been in the reborn hobby since 2010. And I have learned some things along the way that I wanted to pass along to you guys. So the title of this is Things You Should Never Do with Your Reborn. And I have 10 things here, and I'm going to list all of the things that I have had experience with, and I'm sure there's a lot more, but these are the ones that came to mind. And, I specifically am targeting people that are new in the hobby, because I don't want you guys to learn the hard way like some of us have. So, things you should never do with your reborn. Number 1, never dress your doll in unwashed dark clothing, especially blue jeans. What happens is the dye from the dark clothing can seep into the vinyl and stain your vinyl, and it's impossible to get out. I mean, it isn't impossible, but it's very, very time consuming and difficult to get out. So if you want to dress your doll in dark clothing, make sure you wash it first. And I recommend washing it by hand so that you can rinse it and see how many times you need to rinse it before the dye stops coming out. That's always a good tip. You'd be surprised when you do that by hand and you rinse it by hand and you have a bowl and you can see the color of the water. After maybe even the third rinse, you can still see the dye coming out. So yeah, that's number 1 on my list. Number 2, never leave your doll for extended periods of time in direct sunlight. This can fade your doll, and the paint being exposed to direct sunlight will definitely change color. It will, the vinyl may get heated and change shape, or the sunlight may change the color of your reborn. Excuse me. And if your doll has hair, the hair will get dried out from the sunlight, and it maybe change color as well. Especially if it's dark hair, mohair, it will get red if you leave it in the sun for long periods of time. Number 3, never expose your doll for long periods of time to extreme heat or cold. And this is because these dolls are made out of a very soft vinyl, and they are mostly weighted in the arms and legs with tiny glass beads. And glass beads absorb heat and cold pretty well. They're a good conductor. And exposing your doll for long periods of time in extreme heat or cold will affect the vinyl in a negative way. Number 4, never get the cloth body wet, because mold and mildew may develop. These dolls that have a cloth body have polyfill inside and other materials to weight them, and you don't want to get the cloth body wet. So if your cloth body needs cleaning, what I recommend is that you take the vinyl parts away from the body, take all the filling out, and wash it by hand with gentle soap and water and dry it and then reassemble your doll. You can do spot cleaning, but make sure that you leave the doll out in the open air to dry before you store it away in an uncovered or a covered container of any kind, because you'll get mold and you definitely don't want that. Number 5, never leave your reborn in your car uncovered. I've had this happen to me, especially if your doll is very realistic and looks like a real baby. People will maybe pass by and look in your car, and if your windows are all closed up and it's hot out or cold out and your doll's just laying there, you're running the risk of someone calling the police and possibly having your window broken. So yeah, if you have your doll in a car, cover the doll, just to keep yourself safe and keep your car safe. Number 6, never allow a young child to handle a reborn unsupervised. Now this all depends on the maturity level of the child, but these are works of art, and children sometimes can get a little rough, and you want to make sure that there's an adult present for a very young child, but that's of course up to the discretion of the owner. So yeah. Number 7, never handle a reborn wearing sharp jewelry. Yeah, you know, sometimes your engagement ring can twist around and kind of be on the inside of your hand, and you might be changing your doll and that will scratch the vinyl. Or if you're wearing a charm bracelet or a bracelet that's kind of jagged and you're dressing your reborn, you want to make sure that it doesn't scratch the vinyl. So yeah, it's always best to wear jewelry that's not going to possibly come in contact with the vinyl and scratch it while you're changing your reborn or handling your reborn. Number 8, never use oily lotions on the vinyl. Oil will make the doll shiny. It will change the texture of the vinyl. You don't want any kind of hand lotion or oily product to come in contact with the vinyl of your doll. Number 9, never put your doll on top of something that has ink, such as newspaper, or on the inside of a priority mailbox with the printing on the inside that could possibly get onto your vinyl and stain your vinyl. Make sure that, if you're going to lay your doll on anything, that it's on a clean surface without ink. And number 10, never use anything but mild soap and warm water and a soft cloth to wipe your dolls clean. Make sure also that the doll is completely dry before you store it away in some kind of an enclosed container, because then you run the risk of the doll getting some kind of mold or mildew, and that's definitely not something you're going to want to have to deal with. So I hope that this has been helpful to anyone who has experienced their first reborn or is new in the hobby, or just wants to know. So I hope this has been helpful to you guys, and if you like what you heard and you want to stay in touch with me, make sure that you subscribe, you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a video from me. And thank you so much for watching. Comments are always appreciated. Okay, so have a great evening, guys, and a great week coming up. Hope your week is good, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.